NBC10.
Serving Pennsylvania,
New Jersey,
And Delaware.
now live.
This is News 10 Today.
Sam Manzi will be back in court today. A judge has ruled the 15-year-old Jackson Township teen will be tried as an adult for the murder of 11-year-old Eddie Werner.
Can I finish my statement and then we'll be... Can I?
Well, a hostile crowd made it hard for Madeleine Albright to finish her statement. The administration tried to drum up support for the possibility of a strike on Iraq.
And it's time to meet Philadelphia's new police commissioner. He's John Timoney. He comes from New York, and he takes over for Richard Neal. Well, good morning and welcome to News 10 Today. I'm Connie Cola.
I'm Steve Levy. 6 a.m., February the 19th. Good Thursday morning to you.
Let's check your roads and see how they look this morning.
In the traffic center, Mark Davies, good morning.
Good morning, Steve. Good morning, Connie. Major roads look pretty good this morning, and we can see them, as a matter of fact, too. Let's look at actually the Schuylkill Expressway, where it meets up with the Vine Expressway and the Ben Franklin Parkway, up at the Art Museum Circle, where it comes over. Doing very well. 76 checks out okay. Up on 422 West, that's a big problem. Westbound shut down at 29 to Royersford. They're working on an accident there. In the News 10 Metro Traffic Center, I'm Mark Davies for News 10. Now let's check your forecast. There's Bill Henley outside this morning on the city line. Good morning, Bill.
Morning, Mark. Once again this morning we have areas of dense fog. It looks like it's going to be a while before those burn off. We have lots of clouds around still this morning, but a chance of some sunshine moving in this afternoon. Our forecast is calling for mostly cloudy skies and a high temperature of 54 degrees today. How long will the mild weather last? I'll show you with the 5-day coming up.
All right, thank you, Bill. Topping our news this morning, another court date is coming up today for the 15-year-old suspect in the Eddie Werner murder. And we name him now because the judge has ruled that Sam Manzi will be tried as an adult. There was new evidence in court yesterday. Let's get some of the details. Let's take you to the news center. News 10's Christine Perez. Good morning, Christine.
Good morning, Steve and Connie. Prosecutors say 15-year-old Sam Manzi took a Polaroid snapshot of 11-year-old Eddie Werner's half-naked body after allegedly raping and murdering him. Manzi will face an arraignment today in adult court. This is Sam Manzi walking out of his probable cause hearing on Wednesday. News 10 is using the name and picture of the 15-year-old boy because a judge has ruled he can be tried as an adult. The decision came soon after Ocean County prosecutors revealed a gruesome picture of Eddie Werner. They say Manzi took the trophy snapshot after allegedly robbing, raping, and strangling the 11-year-old boy.
The photograph, which was a Polaroid photograph, which depicted the victim, little Eddie, lying with his stomach down in the bedroom, with his face to the side, with a belt and an electrical cord around his neck as if he had just been strangled.
Prosecutors allege the picture was taken in Manzi's bedroom in Jackson Township. They say Manzi's mother found it along with $140 and gave it to detectives days after her son was arrested. Eddie Werner's parents had no comment yesterday about the startling evidence. Werner was going door to door selling candy for a school fundraiser. Prosecutors say they've also recovered a knapsack that belonged to Werner. They say Manzi stuffed it with the boy's clothing and ledgers and put it in a dumpster near a place where he was receiving counseling. Manzi's attorney says his client is mentally ill because he was allegedly molested by a 43-year-old man he met on the internet.
He was examined by our mental health people, and our mental health people, psychiatrists and psychologists, say that he cannot be rehabilitated before he reaches the age 19.
That's part of the reason Manzi's attorney says he is not contesting the judge's ruling to have his client tried as an adult, adding he is considering an insanity defense. Today's arraignment begins at 1:30. After that, prosecutors say the case will be presented to a grand jury and could possibly go to trial in the fall. Live at the News Center, Christine Perez, News 10.
Thank you for that update, Christine. Steve.
And this update, United Nations Secretary General Kofi Annan will make that trip to Baghdad today. This is that last-ditch effort to avoid military action with Iraq. Now, he is hopeful that he'll find a peaceful solution to the weapons inspection standoff. Kofi Annan expected to arrive in Iraq tomorrow. He'll meet with Saddam Hussein over the weekend. And U.S. Secretary of State Madeleine Albright will remain on the road this morning, making back-to-back appearances today in hopes of winning support for America's policy towards Iraq. Yesterday's effort, not quite so successful as the administration had hoped. President Clinton sent the foreign policy team to Ohio to defend the administration's threat to bomb Iraq into compliance. But often the most compelling words here came from the audience.
Are we willing to send troops in and finish this job? Or are we going to do it half-assed and ask my grandson and some of these other grandsons to put their lives on the line?
The Secretaries of State and Defense both taunted by the protesters.
I really am surprised that people feel that it is necessary to defend the rights of Saddam Hussein.
You're not answering my question, Madam Albright.
Does Saddam Hussein have the moral right to use weapons of mass destruction, chemicals and biologicals?
Now, Iraq says the town meeting shows a lack of consensus in the United States for a military attack. That town hall meeting in Columbus was watched around the world, but especially by the Republicans on Capitol Hill this morning. Many of them are calling it a disaster. However, the official line from the White House is that this was just democracy at work.
Now to the latest on the investigation into President Clinton's alleged affair with Monica Lewinsky. New information has surfaced this morning about Mr. Clinton's friend Vernon Jordan and his alleged efforts to find a job for the former White House intern. Prosecutor Kenneth Starr's office has reportedly gathered evidence of a series of meetings between Jordan and Lewinsky just before she was subpoenaed in the Paula Jones harassment case. The meetings reportedly began in December when the president's secretary, Betty Currie, allegedly asked Jordan to help Lewinsky find a job in New York. Well, President Clinton's longtime friend and advisor, Bruce Lindsay, will be back before the grand jury today. His testimony yesterday was interrupted when Lindsay's lawyers asked to meet with a judge. They're considering whether to claim executive privilege in the case. The former Navy Academy midshipman sentenced to life in prison for the murder of a romantic rival is under a suicide watch today. Jail officials in Fort Worth, Texas say Diane Zamora cut herself on the arm with a razor blade. Zamora denies she tried to kill herself.
Been a couple of military crashes. The Air Force says that 4 crew members who parachuted to safety just before their plane crashed doing okay this morning. It was a B-1B bomber, went down in this muddy field, rural western Kentucky. Now, the plane flew for another 10 miles after the pilot and the crew ejected. They were on a routine training mission out of Dyess Air Force Base in Texas. No word yet on what caused that plane to explode and then crash. And later on today, rescue crews will continue their search for the 5th person who was aboard a Navy helicopter that crashed yesterday in Central California. 4 people on board that chopper died. The 5th one still missing. The helicopter from the China Lake Naval Weapons Center was on a search and rescue training mission when it went down. They don't know what caused that crash either.
Well, less than a week after the former police commissioner announced his resignation, Philadelphia has a new top cop. He's John Timoney, and the mayor and city council president were on hand to introduce him to the city yesterday. Timoney is a 29-year veteran of the New York City Police Department. He's most recently served as New York's deputy commissioner until he quit last March when he wasn't promoted to the top job.
And our top traffic cop is on the job this morning.
Mark Davies, do we have any problems out there today?
Good morning, guys. Actually, yeah, a little bit. A couple of problems. The fog is an element. It's not quite as bad as it was yesterday, but in some areas it's pretty thick. Let's look at the Ben Franklin Bridge, actually, from the Camden side. You kind of lose the top of the bridge in the fog there. The shot from the Tacony Palmyra in 95 by Cotman, you can't even really see that one. As soon as that breaks a bit, we'll show you 95. Let's look at the Schuylkill Expressway by the Blue Route, though. By contrast, you're in great shape there. Visibility's fine. Out by 422, though, an accident westbound that has it closed at 29 to Royersford. It's pretty thick there. I'm sure fog was probably a factor with that. Again, westbound 422 is shut down at 29 to Royersford. They had eastbound shut down for a while, too, but eastbound's now been reopened. In the News 10 Metro Traffic Center, I'm Mark Davies for News 10.
Mr. Davies, we thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, 44 degrees outside. Let's see how your Thursday's shaping up.
Bill Henley.
Hey, things are going to be okay today. Not bad if you like clouds. We may get a little sunshine later today, and there's still a chance we could see a few scattered showers, especially this morning. Also this morning, we have some dense fog, so there's a lot going on. Everything but cold air. It's not cold out here this morning. Will not be this afternoon either. Our temperatures right now are right in the 40s. 45 degrees with cloudy skies here on City Line Avenue and some dense fog in the area. 54 will be the afternoon high today, with mostly cloudy skies, which leaves a little room for a bit of sunshine. Then tonight, partly cloudy and dropping down to 40 degrees. Earthwatch will show you what's going on. Our radar screen shows some showers to the northeast. Those have already passed by us, so actually things are going to stay fairly dry today. There are a couple showers into western Pennsylvania, just north of Pittsburgh. Some of those could be moving in later today, but more likely we're going to stay dry. And you can see the clouds are right on top of us right now, but to the west, there are a few breaks in those clouds. So keep your fingers crossed. May get a little sunshine today. Our forecast calling